already, and still got more to do. Actually, the better part is coming a little bit later today when we go to the city of the Immaculata, the city of which Maximilian Kolbe built, but we're not there yet. So today it's so important that we take that tour of Warsaw and that we see that was a city destroyed. And if we were listening and paying attention, if we know history, we understand that that Poland right at the onslaught and at the point of World War II, that it was at one point doubly occupied, but it was the Germans got booted out, and then the Russians were there and then occupied Poland for the next 40 years plus. And so it's so important that we understand the history of this people. And by God's divine providence, it wasn't in my planning whatsoever, but by God's divine providence, we have today is Polish Independence Day. And I just think that that's just such a cool little factoid that we're throwing in here. We didn't get to be involved in a lot of the festivities, but we saw the beginnings of it, and I'm sure it's going to be, super cool the rest of the day. In my nerdy Polish heritage, I've just read and studied a little bit, but sometimes I just like to put on the Polish national anthem. And when we're driving off to the city of the Immaculata, I'll play it for you in the car, and it's in Polish, but obviously, it's just a really good tune if you don't know it. But it's a good tune. But the opening line, and translated into English, the opening line, again, without me even really knowing Polish independence, just kind of even praying with it, the opening line of the Polish national anthem is, "Poland still lives as long as we are alive." Reflect on that. Poland is alive. Poland still lives as long as we are alive, as long as we still live. And that's at the heart of what it means to be a Pole. That's at the heart of what it means to live your heritage, to love your country, to love our faith. And we celebrate Veterans Day. Today is Marines Day, right? Yesterday was Marines Day, and so we recognize our own heritage in our own country, and so that we have to continue to fight and to live for our own country, right? One of the reasons why I chose this pilgrimage, chose to bring y'all here after 10 years of being here in Poland, is I think, and I truly believe that the history of Poland speaks so much to us of where we're at in our world today. That we need to fight and defend our homeland, to fight and defend who we are as Catholics, so that what happened here doesn't happen back home. Along the walls there in the center stage, it was translated in English and Polish. Remember, she read it to us. She said, "We are rebuilding what should have never been destroyed." And what are they rebuilding? Not just buildings, but they're building upon their faith, right? They're building upon their faith, and that's saying again, Poland still lives as long as we are alive. That's as long as we have a voice, okay? As long as we have a voice, Jesus Christ is alive. And Jesus Christ is the King of Poland. Jesus Christ is the King of the United States. Jesus Christ is the King of our own hearts, right? And Father Jerzy knew the cost. He knew what was at stake. He knew what he wanted to fight for. Not just a solidarity movement, but he knew what he was fighting for. He poured himself out for Poland. He poured himself out for his people. He believed in a free Poland. He believed in freedom of religion. He believed in a unified Poland. He believed in a sacred land, in a land that it's important to love God and country. And he knew that. Daily, Father Jerzy was a man of God, and daily he celebrated Mass. just as I do as a priest, and just as many of us do oftentimes throughout the week, and certainly every Sunday, and every week when we're at Mass, whenever we're at Mass, we'll hear the words here today, do this in memory of me. Do this in memory of me. And Jesus doesn't just mean those words to be said to us at Mass. He wants us to recognize that those words are meant for us out in the world, to lay down our lives for our country, for our spouses, for our children, to lay down our lives to help others who are in bondage of slavery, who are oppressed, to help them to find real freedom in Christ, and to speak the truth of Jesus Christ, to pour out our hearts for others, right? And so that can be a challenge to us. That can be so difficult. Do this in memory of me, and that's hard, no matter where we find ourselves or the struggles that we have, right? And so, but in the face of it all, what did Father Jerzy do, right? He wasn't, this is important, and we didn't really get the full grasp of this from the tour, but Father Jerzy wasn't rousing his fellow Poles to take up arms and to go out and kill the Russians, the communists. Down with the commies, right? He wasn't rousing up others to do that. He preached Christ. He preached peace. He preached love, right? His last words there, were don't harbor resentment or something like that. I can't remember what we heard, but to that effect, right? He preached love in Christ, and that unified a people, and that was a threat. So, but in the face of trials, in the face of persecution, in the face of arrest, in the face of more persecution, in the face of more persecution, in the face of beatings and the threats of it all, imprisonment, Father Jerzy, what did he do? He remembered what Jesus was telling him. Do this in memory of me. Not just at Mass, but when we're living the faith in our everyday lives. Your sufferings, your sacrifices, your crosses that you carry, your spouse, your children, your parish, right? Your country, our homeland, our cities, our people, right, are valuable to us, and they're willing for us to die for, and they're valuable to Jesus, and our sacrifices mean something to him. Some words of Father Jerzy's ring out to me as I was just reading about him on retreat. He said something. He said the duty, this is for priests, but for all of us, he said the duty of every priest is to preach the truth and to suffer for the truth, even if it means martyrdom, right? Even if it means martyrdom. Father Jerzy wasn't an organizer. He wasn't just a labor union leader, but God gave him this special calling and a voice to help normal people, everyday people, working class people, and to help them never forget who they are, that they belong to Christ, that they're Poles, that they're unified in this country, that they defend their homeland, but that they have dignity. And work is beautiful if there's dignity, if we understand it. And so he gave a voice so that Poland lives on today in solidarity, but that voice was rooted in Christ, to never forget Jesus and what he says to us, do this in memory of me. And so let's take Father Jerzy's words and the words of the Polish national anthem that as long as we live, and if we're living for Christ, our country will always live. In the name of the Father, and of the Son,